Nice. All right, overall long shots. If you actually had to place a bet, where would you go?
Jameis.
Mr. Eager.
Jameis.
Just go ahead and talk about him.
Jameis Winston, my guy.
Can you please expound on that?
Well, I think he led the NFL last season in percentage of positively graded throws. He's got the cards in his deck. They have Bruce Arians there. Bruce Arians made Carson Palmer, who granted has had a far better career than Jameis to this point, but very similar composition-wise.
Yep.
He put him in position to succeed. I think he could put Jameis in position to succeed.
Yeah, just needs a little bit of a lift from his offensive
Stop.
Coaching staff.
God damn
Since
it.
he's probably not able to take an Uber anymore.
Yahtzee.
Benjamin?
How long are long shot odds?
I mean, anyone that's, past 25 to 1. I mean, I actually don't even think it has to be a long shot. Just what's your favorite bet?
My favorite play in there would probably be
Kyle Bowler's not in here.
It's a disappointment. I mean, they've missed a trick there. They've got Tariq Cohen and Zach Ertz on there, but I can't put money on Kyle Bowler. I would be looking at the 3 guys at 25 to 1s as guys who I think are good bets. Matt Ryan's shown he's got that upside in the past. He's still got Julio to throw to. Ben Roethlisberger, all right, you got the drama of Antonio Brown gone this offseason, but he's still got a strong offensive line in front of him. He's still got weapons to throw the ball to.
And
James
if he
Conner
plays well, it's like you've done it in spite of.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think Roethlisberger's great. I probably wouldn't go with Ryan just because I think it's so hard to repeat.
Yeah.
He won it just a couple of years ago. I actually kind of like Mayfield at 25 to 1, but the 2 that I like the most, and I'm kind of torn between which one I think is the best, Shaun Watson at 60 to 1, and Jimmy G, the chosen one. Now, the problem with Jimmy G's at 80 to 1 is that they will find any excuse to give him comeback player. But anytime that I can get Jimmy G at 80 to 1, which is the same price at which you can get Kirk Cousins, I'm gonna take that. And
Kirk Cousins.
when he comes back to redeem all of our sins that we've had. What would it take? Here's the other last question I had, because I think the receivers having an amazing year. The guy that kind of got closest was Calvin Johnson.
Yeah.
What would it take for a receiver to win the MVP, given that his quarterback's probably going to play well? Like, how does that happen?
Yeah, and I think Kevin was saying this on Twitter. It's very hard to envision that happening. You'd almost have to have a situation where a quarterback got hurt and his backup came in and played the other 8 games. Like they split the season basically. That's what I was thinking. And then like the one, they were both like think about Winston and Fitzpatrick last season. If Tampa Bay would have won, and Mike Evans was brilliant, like there could have been an opportunity there.
Yeah, either that or you have to have the extreme market share kind of thing that Megatron had that 2011 season, I think it was, where I think he was further up in the MVP running than Stafford would have been. Even with Stafford throwing for 5,000 yards, which is automatic contention.
Right. I was trying to think of, because part of it is also, it's hard to win the MVP when people have already sort of written the book on you. Mm-hmm. And I think that was Stafford's thing, is like, well, we already know he's sort of a median-ish quarterback, so like we can't escalate him that high. So I was trying to think of someone that sort of fits that. And Antonio Brown with Derek Carr is interesting to me, because he's got to give Antonio Brown 700 targets. Like if he throws the ball,
for them to get along.
That too. But Antonio Brown's the type of guy where he's so well respected for his route running, his ability to get open, to make things happen, to make tough catches, that I could see a situation where he is just far and away more impressive than Derek Carr is, given that if Derek Carr doesn't throw to him, he's probably throwing it into the ground right in front of him, which is basically what his past.
They signed Tyrell Williams. He's a good football player. Like there's going to be probably some although they got rid of Jared Cook. So yeah, but I do agree. I think Antonio Brown strikes me. But the problem is the Raiders are going to be beige.
Right, they're going to be terrible.
So it's not the opportunity for him to stand out. It'll be one of those situations where it'll be like when Alex Rodriguez won the MVP for like a last place Texas team. This isn't baseball, so this is never going to happen.
Well, that's why I like Roethlisberger too, because this is really a question of projecting how well that player is going to produce stats that people look at. And then secondarily, how confident are you that team is going to not just do well, but exceed expectations. Because that's one of Brady's issues too, is that they always do great, but their expectations are always super high. The Steelers are not the favorite to win their own division this year. So they, them just winning 10 games and him having an amazing season, if Brady and the Patriots win 10 games, they're like, well, you can't give him the MVP. They failed this year.
Well, that takes you back to like 2015 where Palmer and Newton were the two people vying for MVP because in 2014, the Panthers were like 7-8-1. And in 2014, Palmer tore his ACL, had to sit out the last two. So they kind of came out of nowhere. I agree. The hard part is when people already expect you to be awesome. That's probably going to be Mahomes' issue too. Mahomes, like when your starting point is 50 touchdown passes and you throw 35, you could lead the league in
failure.
There was a year that Russell Wilson led the league in touchdown passes. I think it was like 2016, and no one gave him second thought for MVP because they already expected him to be good. And he had a couple crappy games, so people just like default to this idea that he wasn't great.
Well, Russ Wilson's biggest issue is that he doesn't play running back.